I click on another tab and the page is blank. For your list, there are certain things that can't. Cancels out what you're. I returned his carriage, the bullet. It is shot. The asterisk at the end of the line. Through mountain passes with shot, just like the car was. Went through the fuel tank and left an exit. pictures of the chest with the key in the top up there, there in the top of the umbrella. But oh, and let me show you something else. You know Judy Nudie? You know Judy Nudie? She's been here about 4 days. Drove out from South Carolina and stopped in to say hello. And she's off getting water with my neighbors. And them ding dogs should have dumped the water they had in the tank they had. Yeah. Why didn't you just dump that water in my tank and then go fill it up? Um, they were only going to add another 100 gallons to it or something. But I got a little pump here and a spray thing, so I can take a shower out here. I don't have to go into the swimming pool, into the rec center for the swimming pool showers. I can just shower right here outside. There ain't nobody can see me. Oh, he has a chat on. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, my audios must be working, but I don't see anything in chat yet. Is anybody out there? Let's see this YouTube, and when I go back to the, it's gonna oh such. Let's see. It's working. I can hear myself, so the speaker's working. Nobody in chat. I ain't gonna be on here long. These computers, and I think the browser is slow because they're doing more spying. They're checking on you before. Well, we got to see if it's okay for him to go to that website. And here's where the final clue. The final clue, he said, would be where they found his car in the parking lot of the Museum of Nature and Science. Where they found his car. How many stories did he say he had to find his car? If I could find that car again, I dig up the whole landfill to find that toy car. If I could find that car, his dad's 32 Chevy. If I could find that car, I'd go buy it right now. If I could find that car, find that car. What he said to find was what you had to find. And unless you're stupid, if you're stupid, don't look for the car, okay? Ben, Ben, quit being stupid, quit being ignorant. Look at the bullet points at the end of every chapter in The Thrill of the Chase. There's a bullet point. An asterisk is a bullet point. Bullet point at the end of the chapter. And note, these little bullet points, they're dark and they look the same as the text, but they're brown ink on the bullet hole, on the bullets. The bullets are brown, they're brown bullets. And there's one after every chapter. Every chapter ends with a bullet, and he ended his chapter of life with a bullet. And if you're stupid, you don't get it. So that tells you there are a lot of people in the chase, especially on YouTube. And people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear that Forrest shot himself when that is the truth. There are so many people that his stories were about people who were shot or killed, assassinated, committed suicide. The Biddy ended the Great Gatsby ran out in front of a car. What? She didn't have a rope? No, the teacher with teachers with ropes. He had an anchor rope tied to the car. Anchor rope tied to the car and lassoed around the buffalo. The car, the chase was anchored on the car. What else? His plane, when it crash landed, he snagged an anchor chain. Pawnee. Well, I'm up to what I'm up to. I'm just sitting here doing a little stream this afternoon. Um, my neighbors were over here, and them and Judy, Nate and Willie and Judy, they all went to get a tank full of water, and so I'm here puppy sitting. I am puppy sitting, and I got one. I'll show you. Go get, I'll get two of the puppies. I'll get one of the full size puppies, and I'll grab the runt. She's here we have normal size. You got a piece of fuzz on your nose there, it's gone. So this is normal size, and this is the runt. These came out of the same mama dog. This is this is this is the precious. You're precious. Yes, you're precious. And this is her fat little brother. See, he's such a cutie. And she's such a cutie too. But I got four of them like I got three boys like him and one girl like him, and I have uh, at least two females of the black one. The black other black ones are bigger. These guys are so cute. You're so cute. You're so cute. Yes, you are. Boy. Aren't you? You me fat boy? You a fat boy? You gonna kiss me? Yes. They're so cute. They're so cute. You're so cute. You are. These are Australian reindeer herders. When they come out, the black ones are Australian because they're a Laponian reindeer herder. and but Jill's an Australian shepherd, so herders. I got nine puppies to wean from mama and give away. Sell 200 a piece, okay? um, but I'll probably still have a few. They'll be 10 weeks old when his Femboree comes up, and if I have any puppies left at that time, I'll bring them to Femboree, and at 10 weeks old, I'd probably be giving them away, but I do like I got to raise them, I got to feed that little one extra. Uh, I went to the track supply and got her some colostrum that's for all kinds of animals, and you mix a teaspoon with 4 ounces, and she laps that up and gives her more because she gets pushed out of the way by the bigger puppies. Um, so we're just hanging outside. What do I do with the book? Really? Oh, there it is. Under the thrill of the chase. Yeah. Um, so yeah, there's important stuff in even on here. Scrapbook 218, toy car. That's where he says this. Toy car. You dig up a landfill. And it takes metal. Okay, that car part is metal. And in ramblings and rumblings, the the car is an old car with no body. It didn't have a body. It had the cowl and the front seats. Okay, and people are that's just a car part. Well, that's all it was. That's all it ever was a car part. We were looking for the car part, the rusty key, and who's ever running this, who's ever in charge of dispersing the treasure to the solver, is being a total wreck. Get it done. Quit playing your freaking games. Quit being you're an asshole. I probably just blew it for everything, but you know, Forrest gave you a job to do. You get your job done. Get it done, and don't make yourself an asshole by delaying it any longer. You're already. You think you're going to present this to somebody and they're going to be happy that you waited 5 years to do this? Yeah, I ain't got running water. That's why they're going to get water and stuff. And there's some asshole that thinks, oh, he doesn't need it yet. Well, while they're getting up and taking a nice hot shower every day, you know, bunch of people with zero empathy. That's one thing about rich people. They have no idea what it's like to be at the bottom of the freaking pile. And whoever he left in charge to do this was somebody with plenty of money that it should be it would be no benefit to screw over the person unless they're stealing Forrest Fenn's money. So whoever he left in charge of this so far has stolen the treasure from the rightful owner. Be that Justin Posey, jerk. You never returned any of my messages I sent you. Never, ever. Justin Posey don't answer me. Cynthia don't answer me. Dale never answered me. They, uh, Ben and Ben and Ashley, they totally ignore me. The other people, street and all of them, gaslight me. And why shouldn't I call them out for being assholes, a-holes, total a-holes? The person with the right answer, just because they're so freaking ignorant that they cannot listen, because their mind is they don't listen. These people don't listen because they're running their own fucking bullshit through their head that keeps the true information from entering their awareness. Before when when my awareness took its first steps, well, these people have awareness. They'd had plenty of ignorance. Ignorance is the opposite of being aware. If you're aware, you're paying attention. If you're ignorant, you're not paying attention. You're not listening. You're trying to fly the airplane without taking the class to fly the airplane. You know, and you're being stupid by doing that. You're being stupid. You're not going to benefit yourself at all there. Ignorance will get you nowhere. So if these I can't believe the number of people that fall for the bullshit that they have when there's a bullet point after every chapter in here. His favorite song was Once in a While. His final book with the answers at the end of the line, the asterisk, the important literature is not important to these idiots. Ben, pay attention to the asterisk at the end of the line. I will classify you as a certified idiot. Okay? You're a certified idiot if you don't see the asterisk at the end of the line, Ben. Total it. And the asterisk is a bullet point. The final story, Ramblings and Rumblings, was about a painting with 7 bullet holes in it. Uh, Forrest couldn't have he couldn't have put any more bullets into the books. He put all the bullets in there he could, and these people still don't see that the book is peppered. There are bullets peppered through the book, one at the end of each chapter. There's one there. There's the Buffalo Cowboy. There's the bullet point. There's the bullet. Cody. What was Cody's first Bill? Bill Cody. Don't you forget it. It wasn't Ben Cody, nope. And who was Cody's partner? Annie Oakley. Well, was she a sharpshooter? Bullets. Bullets. And even in where is it? There it is, Captain America. This chapter here, Captain America, that Dave Woodard thinks is about Captain America. Not really. Captain America had a bulletproof shield. But what Forrest Fenn talks about here, he told me he'd be in a store in Hillsboro, Texas, while it was robbed by Bonnie and Clyde. As the gangsters fled, a piece of paper from Bonnie's coat pocket. On it was a poem she had written. Joe picked it up and kept it all these years. He pulled the crumpled paper from his Bible and let me see it. It wasn't worth reading, but I think it was Joe's claim to immortality. That was a poem written by Bonnie Barrow, Clyde's wife. And what happened to Bonnie and Clyde? The bullet. It was about the bullets, all kinds of stuff in here about the bullets, you know. Fred Fur was probably, here he is, Rider Little Beaver. That was, yeah, Red Rider. Fred Harmon, who wrote Red Rider, got cancer and shot himself, Forrest said, and it wasn't with a BB gun. It was a heavy load. A BB gun is a very light load. You might be able to break some skin with it, but it ain't going to penetrate no skull. A 22 will enter your skull and bounce around, which is what Forrest did. But yeah, me and Little Beaver. I think it even says in here, does it? I have willed my BB gun to my grandson, and he had better be careful what he shoots with it. Little Beaver might be watching. So Forrest Fenn is he's Little Beaver. I related to Fred Harmon. He was a link to my hunting days as a small boy in Texas, to Red Rider, whom I rode vicariously across the prairie looking for rustlers. He was linked to my hunting days as a small boy in Texas. What was he hunting? He was hunting with his BB gun. What's in the wood on the stock of the Red Ryder BB gun? It says Red Ryder. Red Ryder is in the wood. If you're brave and in the wood, if you're Red Ryder, you're as brave as Fred Harmon, who shot himself in the head. He knew his life was coming to an end. When you're 80 years old, you're lucky every day you wake up. He was lucky for 10 years, and he had it set in his head that he turned 90, and he was at the point where he was unable getting to where he would need somebody, a nurse, to come in every day to take care of him, also, not just Peggy. And but at that point, they had both decided that they were gonna check out on their own terms. Force even has in Ramblings and Rumblings, or it was another thing about. It was the interview that Jack Stoof pointed out. The Jack Stoof interview that he pointed out, and Forrest talks about taking his own life. And I had said that the book, it seems that he's trying to tell us these are the ways that he could kill himself. He could jump off a cliff. He could use a rope and hang himself. He could use a gun and a bullet. Yeah, he could get run car like the Biddy. All kinds of ways to die. All kinds of ways to take yourself out. But um, yeah, I think I had enough for this stream here. Compass. You know what Little Beaver was an Apache. Oh yeah, okay. Well, they didn't like the Colonel Pfeiffer did not like Apaches. He was an Apache hunter. Apaches were uh, uh, Colonel Pfeiffer, Albert Pfeiffer, was down at the hot springs on the Rio Grande River below Taos with his wife and kids, and the Apache's wife, and put an arrow through his chest, and he lived. He survived. He hunted them down naked, and, he hunted Apaches the rest of his life for that incident. But he also had a battle in. He fought for the Utes over the possession of Pagosa Springs between the Utes and the Navajos, and he was supposed to fight this Navajo warrior, and he said he would only fight if he could fight in the nude, and the um, once the Navajo warrior saw all the scars on this man, he decided nobody. If all of that didn't kill him, I can't kill him, and so he forfeited, and the Utes got Pagosa Springs, but eventually the Navajos took it back again after that. But and he said hot springs make a pew sound. Well, so do guns. Hot springs make pew 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 when they burp when the mud bubbles pop. Pew. But a gun goes pew 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 pew. Yeah, so does a gun make a pew sound. So, yeah, but Bentley clueless. If he does not understand what the bullet point after each chapter is about, each chapter a bullet point. bullet point, bullet point, being myself. It's the next page. Bullet point. In a graveyard, bang, and that bullet point is brown. The rest of the text is black, but there's your home of brown. Below the bullet. So you, I'm waiting for other people in the chase to actually wake up and see the bullets. You you're as dumb as dirt. You don't understand the bullet points in the book, and I'm gonna sign off right now because well, as soon as I let gets me here and lets me, because yeah, I just came on here and I'm how do you get people to listen? They don't listen. They especially don't listen to me because of Kipro, Toby, Ben, and other people that tell them that Gorman's full of shit. Gorman is not full of shit. They are dumbasses. Stop listening to the dumbasses like Ben. Unless Ben wakes up, Ben lost cause. You are clueless. If you're one of the paid promoters of the end and you're pretending like you don't hear and don't see the bullet and just being ignorant like that, you're being very rude to me. Very rude. Uh, you, you won't even let me in on the discussion or nothing. None of your channels have interviewed me about the solution. Why? Because you're ignorant. It means you don't care to listen to the person. You're not gonna give them an ear. You're not gonna pay attention to anything they say, no matter how truthful it is. That is the that is the precipice of ignorance. And then they don't like being ignorant when they're being ignorant. Sorry, I call it like I see it. If you ignore the bullets, you are technically ignorant. Goodbye. I'm done. I'm tired of trying you idiots. I'm trying to teach you idiots what ignorant means. And those who aren't listening don't know what ignorant means. They don't want to know what ignorant means because it describes them to a